All right, good evening, everyone. We are back, season 10, episode 2 of the Dos Leprechauns podcast. Co-host Nate, Jason here, and as you can see on the screen, we've been lucky enough to be joined by Notre Dame commit, 4-star defensive back, Cree Thomas. Cree, how you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me on this show.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure, man. Thank you so much. So talk a little bit about Brophy Prep, the school that you attend. For those that don't know, can you talk about where Brophy Prep is at, kind of some of the history of the school, some of the other guys that have gone there? I think everybody probably knows one of the guys, but maybe some others that might have come out of that school.
So I go to Brophy College Preparatory. It's a Catholic school. It's located in Central Phoenix. We've had some big-time football players there. One of the most notable, Benjamin Morrison. He went to the same school.
Yeah, for sure. So you helped out with Benmo's camp a couple weeks, or was it last weekend, I think?
It was last weekend.
Yeah, talk to us about that. What was that like? Kind of probably the first camp you've done since committing, and obviously another guy like Benmo, an All-American and one of the best corners in the league. So what was that like being a part of that?
That was a great time. It was super great spirits all around. And also it was really inspiring, just seeing a guy like Ben put on a camp. It inspired me that maybe one day with continued hard work, I can do that as well.
Yeah, I would be surprised if one day we don't have a Cree Thomas / Benmo camp of some sort. So looking forward to that. We were talking offline a little bit, but there's another guy with a pretty famous last name that's one of your teammates. Can you talk about him?
Oh, Devin Fitzgerald. He's a great guy. He's one of my best friends. We hang out. We go golfing all the time. So, yeah, it's nice to talk to Larry on the sidelines too and be able to get some advice from him.
Okay.
That's very cool.
Brophy Prep, who are some of the teams that you guys play? I know you guys are Division 1 or Division 6A, correct?
6A. So we have a lot of great competition. Most notably, we'll play Centennial this year. We're in the Open State Championship last year. So every single week we're playing someone really good. And it's not easy to win a 6A game, but our coaching staff and our players put it together.
That's one thing I talk to a lot about. I work in a city in here in Arizona, and I talk to my colleagues a lot about just the level of Arizona high school football and how far it's come. I'm from California, and back in the day, it was all California, Texas, Florida. I feel like Arizona's really been put on the map, thanks in large parts to guys like you, guys like Benmo, some guys like that. Talk about the Arizona high school football scene. How different is it, and why do you think it's so competitive now amongst some of these other powerhouses?
We've had a lot of guys come out of Arizona recently, and I just think that Arizona football historically has just been very underrated. I think we've always had talent, but I'm just happy that now that there's more colleges coming to see us, and we're finally getting the exposure that I think that we deserve, and it's only growing from here.
For sure.
So let's kind of jump into Notre Dame just really fast, segueing from high school. How was your recruiting trip the first time that you saw Notre Dame? What were your first impressions? And what was probably your favorite part of campus when you first stepped on campus?
The first thing was just the coaching staff, of course. Their energy is just amazing all the time. I love them. Coach Bowden, Coach Mickens, Coach Freeman, all of them. I love their energy. So that was definitely a big thing that jumped out to me the first time I was on campus. Just not only the football aspect, but the school aspect as well. As soon as I stepped foot on the campus, I was like, this is where I want to go. And those were the big things. My favorite part on campus so far is definitely Touchdown Jesus, that area. I could see myself going there and studying and having a good time down there.
Nice. So your OV is coming up this weekend, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you looking forward to seeing anybody in particular? I know there's a lot of OVs this weekend coming out there. Is there anybody in particular you're looking to link up with that you're excited about?
Really just all the coaches, all the guys. Mark Zachary, Dallas Golden, those are two of our newer commits and fellow cornerback commits. So I'm super excited to build that relationship with them and grow a greater connection with them on this visit.
It is insane to me, the talent that Coach Mickens, Coach Golden, and Coach Freeman have been able to assemble with this class. Talk about the offensive side of the ball. I know you'll be playing defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, who are some of the guys in your class that you're really looking forward to going up against? You're looking forward to testing your skills against in camp, beforehand, before the season starts, your own guys that you're looking forward to testing your skills against?
All of our commits are really talented. I'm definitely excited to go up against the receivers, Jerome Bettis Jr., Elijah Burris. I'm super excited to go against them. And Deuce, he's an amazing quarterback. So I'm excited to hopefully catch some passes on him in practice.
There you go. There you go. So that Jerome Bettis kid, I feel like his name sounds familiar in Notre Dame circles for some reason. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like that's a pretty well-known name in Notre Dame circles for some reason. His dad might have been a walk-on or something. I don't know. But but when it comes to the coaching staff, that's one of the coolest things about as fans. Coach Freeman has done so much for the university already. Is it like a culture thing that you feel like has been created over the entire program, or is it like individual relationships that you feel has really created this environment where Notre Dame is once again like the school of choice for so many blue chip prospects?
The culture of Notre Dame football has been incredible historically, right? And then you bring in great guys like Coach Freeman, Coach Mickens, all the defensive coaches, and it really just sets Notre Dame apart. And those individual connections I have with the coaches is really what made me want to go to Notre Dame and be a commit.
Sure. So, we've talked a lot about Notre Dame and some of those things, but we got a question here from the Hype on YouTube. It says, as a senior and tone setter and a leader, what are you most looking forward to about your senior year?
Ooh, mostly. So we have a really good team this year. We're a young team though. So I'm super excited to just go out there and compete, and lead my younger guys, help coach them up. And hopefully we can be competing for a state championship here.
With that being said, what are some of the guys like? What's Brophy Prep looking like this year? Where are you guys going to be strong? Where are you maybe looking at some things that need to be worked on still in fall practice?
Honestly, we're strong all around. It's early in the season, so it's just building that connection with guys and building up that team chemistry. That's going to be the thing. And we put together good chemistry every year, so there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be good this year.
Switching again back to kind of the college ranks. So are you looking at possibly being an early enrollee at this point?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Okay. So you'll be potentially playing at the spring game next year. It was really, really cool this year. I don't know if you watched the spring game, but there was 4 or 5 guys that are still in high school playing in the freaking spring game. And it was just so cool to see the future on display and really holding their own against some of the veteran guys. It was really cool to see that. So I'm sure fans will be excited to see you next year out there.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited about that. And just being able to, I want to get developed by the best. And so getting there early will just give me that opportunity.
So your position coach is obviously going to be Coach Mickens. Is there anybody else besides Chad Bowden that really was going after you hard? When was the first contact? When was the first time that somebody from Notre Dame reached out and said, hey, we're interested. Let's have a conversation.
Actually, it was Coach Dre Brown. He was the first one to reach out to me from Notre Dame. I love him. He's a great guy. He's at Illinois right now, I think. Yep. But other guys I built super strong relationships with. Coach Golden, we're in constant contact, and I love Coach Golden. I have so much respect for him.
Love it.
I'm just curious. This is a personal question myself, but what is your, high school practice schedule like? I know with the hot weather and stuff outside like that, when are you guys practicing? Because there's no way you guys are practicing in 110, whatever it's at right now. So I'm just curious.
A lot of schools actually do practice after school. But us at Brophy, we pride ourselves on BST, which is Brophy Standard Time. So we're up at 5 a.m. We have to be there at 4:45 with our cleats on, ready to go. And so, we're practicing in the morning. We'll have film or lift after school.
That's awesome.
I can't even imagine. So Nate played football in California. I played football in California. I can't imagine practicing in this heat, man. I don't know if I'd play.
Yeah.
I'd pick up water polo or something. I don't know. But that's awesome. I like that BST. That's pretty cool. And the good thing is that'll prepare you for the rigors of Notre Dame. Was that a thought process when you decided to commit? Obviously you could go, and I'm not trying to downplay other schools or anything like that. Well, maybe I am, but there's other schools that you could go to that education may not be a top priority, but at Notre Dame, you got to be twofold: education, hitting the books, and then obviously playing on the field. So was that ever a consideration? Man, this is going to be a really heavy load. Is this the right thing to do?
Really, that was one of the main reasons I chose Notre Dame. Getting a degree from Notre Dame is unlike any other, and I understood that. And at the end of the day, I'm a student first, and so yeah, that was definitely a big reason why Notre Dame. I was just thinking big, as the coach staff likes to say.
Let's say that's your hashtag, right? Think big.
Yes, sir.
So what is your GPA?
I have a 3.6 right now.
And that for a prep school, that's pretty impressive, man. That's not an easy thing to do for those people that don't know. Prep schools are no joke.
Yes,
That's
sir.
great. So what are your other numbers? I know you decided not to run track last year, but what are some of your other numbers? What's your 40? Those kind of things. Where are you at on those right now?
I haven't tested in a 40-yard dash though yet, so I'm definitely excited to do that soon. I think I'm going to be doing that in a couple of months here. So,
okay, yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your family life. Mom, dad, what do they do? How excited are they that their son's going to Notre Dame? You have siblings. Like, what's that looking like?
My family is just super excited all around. My mom and my dad wanted me to go to Notre Dame, so they didn't pressure it on me. But at the end of the day, when I made that decision, they were super excited and still are. So I know they're really hyped up to get to Notre Dame. I fly out tomorrow for my official visit.
I saw Logan Saldate just went out there. I think he's going to go ahead and get on campus now. So it seems like a lot of these guys are getting in early and really trying to get that work and getting Coach Lauren's strength and conditioning program. That's seems like he's got a little bit of a new approach from Coach Bayless, but it seems like it's still going to be a very solid approach. Does he have you already on some sort of conditioning program or health and fitness program or anything?
Not yet, but I know that we're going to be talking about it on my official visit. So I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out of that. And awesome. Yeah, he's an amazing coach. I talked to Kennedy Erlacher about it, and he said it's an amazing program.
Yeah, Kennedy was one of the guys we saw play in the spring game. I was like, all right. So he got some reps. I think he's an early enrollee also. Did you play against Kennedy in high school at all?
I didn't play against him personally, but I played with him in the 7-on-7 circuit with
Gotcha.
Tucson Turf.
What was the name of the Tucson school?
Tucson Turf. It's just a club 7-on-7 program where I play with Kennedy.
Gotcha. And you guys, I saw something on your Instagram. I think it was you guys had some workouts here just a little bit ago, right?
Yeah, we're a super good team. They're actually going to be in Tampa this weekend for a really big tournament. So cheering for my guys down there.
You and Kennedy have had a chance to get some work in too since he's been back?
We have, but I'm super excited to see him on this official visit coming up.
Nice. So I know a lot of the guys in this 25 class and beyond really are doing a lot of, recruiting on their own. Are there any guys that you're in contact with that are kind of on that fringe of like, hey, maybe they're going to come to Notre Dame, maybe they're looking at something else? Are you still trying to do your own kind of recruiting as well?
Oh, of course. We're always reaching out to guys on social media, just showing them love on social media. And there's some big targets that we're trying to get, Derek Meadows. I saw him post a little Michigan OV the other day. I had to comment the Irish.
There you go. See, and that's what I love about some of these new recruits, man, like Deuce and back before, or this class with CJ Carr. It seemed like every other day CJ Carr was like roping somebody else in to come and win a national championship in Notre Dame.
No, 100%. At the end of the day, you want to put the best players around you. Not only will it make our team better, but it will make ourselves better players as well.
Absolutely. So aside from your official visit coming up here this weekend, do you have any other time set for sure that you're going to be going out to South Bend to campus or anything like that?
Not officially locked in yet, but I'm for sure going to try to get out to some of the games this year.
Absolutely. There you go. Patrick McCormick in the chat says, what future opponent do you most look forward to playing?
Ooh, future opponent. Definitely USC.
My guy.
That's a rivalry, and, we want to beat up on USC every year we play them. So I'm definitely excited for that game. I went to the USC game last year, and that atmosphere was crazy. Rushing the field was crazy. And that was definitely a big part of me wanting to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, thank God we won then, right? It's that game really is, and as a young man, it's great that you understand the importance of that rivalry. I heard yesterday Colin Cowherd was talking about, does SC need to schedule Notre Dame and all this and that. That game, just like Notre Dame playing Navy, Notre Dame cannot ever not play USC. It's just it's the first ever cross-continental or cross-country rivalry. I mean, it's just Nate and I go out to the USC Notre Dame game anytime it's in LA, which is every other year. So this year we'll be there, and it's definitely not the same environment. Quite frankly, it's a dump, but it's still, you get in the moment because, you got all these SC fans, and there's obviously the rivalry. You usually see some extracurricular activities going on before the game starts. It's a great time. So I'm glad to hear that you understand the hate for, or the disdain for USC.
Super excited.
Is there any game that you're targeting this year that you're like, man, I'd really like to go see Notre Dame play, or is it just kind of going to be about your schedule?
I'm not sure. I think it's going to be about my schedule, just because we have our games going on as well.
For sure. Yeah.
But really, any home game is going to be a great time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about where people can find you, what you're up to next. Obviously, you have the season coming up in a few months. How can people stay in touch with you? How can people get in contact with you? All that kind of stuff.
So big thing, my Instagram, Cree_Thomas. That's where people can find me. I'm going to be locked in throughout the season. So I'm super excited for that.
So somebody in the chat on YouTube just said, and it might be a buddy of yours, which is funny. Oh, I lost it. Oh my gosh. Rayshawn Thomas said 3.6 GPA and playing the game at a high level. Is there anything that you can't do? That's from Rayshawn Thomas on YouTube. So on that note, I mean, is there stuff that you want to work on as a student athlete that you really want to make sure you've got locked in before you head out there officially?
Really just everything, I'm going to college, so I want to make sure that my game is as polished as it can be my senior year. So I'm working on all different types of techniques, off man, press man, zone coverage, really all parts of my game, just to make sure that I'm prepared for Notre Dame.
Love it. Cool. Well, we don't want to take up too much more of your time, Cree. It's really been a pleasure talking to you. You've got a great head on your shoulders. Your parents are probably very proud, and we're excited to see you play in the gold helmet. And we're definitely going to be trying to get to some Brophy Prep games and maybe get some audio and say hi to you in person.
Oh, 100%. Let's do it.
All right, man. Hey, have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for joining us, and go Irish.
Go Irish.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
All right. I'm telling you, man, every time we talk to a Notre Dame kid, just more and more you realize why these kids get to play at the highest level. You got a kid like Cree Thomas, who not only is he obviously a very skilled player, but he's also a good kid. You can just tell right off the bat. He's respectful. He's excited to be there. He understands. First of all, he understands the Notre Dame SC rivalry, which is very important. So, so pretty cool stuff. So real quick, shout out to my guys that are in South Bend right now. Notre Dame Fantasy Camp is going on right now. I got a lot of buddies out there: Mark Smith, Smitty, Jason Lynch, Raji McDonald, you name it. Those guys are out there. JP Guerrero, all these guys. So they're having a good time. I think the game is tomorrow, so game day, as Pete Natale would say. But Nate's excited about going out there one day and getting laid out by his old man here. But hopefully next year I'll be able to get out there as well. If you haven't done fantasy camp and you're a Notre Dame fan, it's not cheap, but it is well worth the investment. It's insanely awesome. So ask anybody that's been a part of it, and I think they'll tell you the same thing. So if you guys can't notice, we're really starting to come along here in the Leprechaun Cave, the studios of Dos Leprechauns. We got some new stuff up. It's our new environment. Instead of being in the garage in the 300-degree heat, literally it was last year one day in the summer, I put a little thermometer thing out there and it was like 160 degrees in our man cave. And that was with a what is it called? A switch or whatever, a split on the wall. So that was not an ideal situation. Let's talk a little bit about Notre Dame and what's going on right now. We got a few more minutes on air here. Obviously the recruiting trail is as hot as I've ever seen it. Cree mentioned Dallas Golden, who is a guy that, somebody that maybe back in the day we weren't going to get somebody like that. CJ Carr, Noah Grubb, who just committed a 4-star. Noah Grubb's a 4-star quarterback as a sophomore. Going into his junior year, he's a 4-star, and he's already big. He's got a great frame. Obviously, he's going to put on some pounds, but great frame, throws the ball well. You can tell he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got like a 4.3 GPA. It's ridiculous. I didn't even know they went that high. Jeff says, "Hey, Boo Boo, what's up, bro?" Jeff Strube in the house. Sorry, brother. Love you, but I still can't pronounce your last name. So it looks like it should be Strubejek. So if you want to pronounce that for us in the enunciation phase, that would be great. Anyways, so our cave here, do a little tour. Got the Three Amigos, got Rocket Man. On this side, we got a little bit of that right there. Kathleen Kiefer. If you've never seen her stuff, go check it out. Kathleen Kiefer, artist. The helmets of Notre Dame. We've got the Ara Parsegian painting she did. Got the Go Irish Go that our boys at Forever Young helped us get signed by Zibby, Dex. I think Benmo's on there. Several guys like that. So pretty cool stuff. So anyways, what else you guys want to talk about? Recruiting? What do you think, Nate? What do you got?
I don't know. I'm just like I've told you, I feel like every day that the countdown goes, it just like, wow, I can't believe we're that close.
Yeah, for sure.
It really seems crazy that we're only, 87 days out.
Let's talk about that too. Good call. First of all, before we go any further, it looks like there's another crystal ball alert for the 5-star safety, Braylon Womack. That would just be icing on the cake for that 25. I mean, it's getting ridiculous right now. Coach Mickens is putting it in. Coach Golden obviously helps. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So countdown, if you guys have been following along, we appreciate it. If you're not, you definitely are going to want to do that. We're at 87 days, which today we had Lake Dawson. I don't think we're going to do Jabari Holloway, even though Jabari Holloway was another great number 87. But 87 is a pretty packed number because we had Frank Leahy, who won 87 games with the Irish. And our main event, which our historian Benny the Tank Grims will be posting any minute, is the big dog, Michael Mayer.
He already posted it.
Did he really?
Yes,
okay, so if you haven't checked it out yet on our Facebook, we do a countdown. I consider it to be maybe the original or one of the first few that did it. We've been doing it for 10 years, maybe 11. And yeah, pretty cool. We do it all the way down to 0. We are going to have some contests probably in the 60s because the 60 numbers, jersey numbers, there's not a ton of them. So we're going to have some contests to try to keep the excitement going because when we get to the 50s, it's kind of one of those all downhill from there type situation because there's some really amazing numbers. If you are following the countdown, just be patient. I know there's a lot of guys people want to see on there, and sometimes people think we're not going to grab a certain, put somebody up there, but we actually are. It's just coming later in the day. So yeah, check that out too. If you have a special request for somebody that maybe is not like a super well-known player or somebody you want to highlight, we've had some people email us and ask us to add guys from fantasy camp on there, which we do. So if there's somebody else on there and you want to see them, let us know. We're happy to explore that. It's been awesome to see the legacies carried behind the numbers. Yeah, it's so major shout out to our guy, Benny the Tank Grim as part of our Dos Leprechauns team. It's not just me and this ugly guy here that run it. It's about 7 dudes that help with the history, the edits, the monitoring of the page, adding people to the page, etc. It's a team effort. Joe, who also does the podcast Fighting Irish Faithful, check his podcast out mainly on Twitter. Check him out as well. But Benny the Tank Grim does an awesome job. He's our historian. He comes up with some awesome intel and history on every single number. I don't know how he does it, but every morning I wake up and he's got it up there already. So major shout out to the Tank. So yeah, let's talk season records. I mean, obviously it's a long ways out. I've seen Vegas has us at, I think, the over under at 10.5, which means you take the over, you're thinking 11 or 12 or more. If you're taking the under, you're thinking 10 or less. I don't know, man. I'm trying so hard to maintain composure and not get too excited, but with this team, it's really hard to not get excited. You've got a gamer quarterback that I think will really fit well into Coach Denbrock's system. You've got a returning OC who knows Notre Dame and who, more importantly, coached a Heisman Trophy winner last year. So, you're thinking that the offense is going to look a lot better. We obviously got the sad news that we're losing Jerron Payne for the season. But, as much as we want him to get back and get healthy, you got Jeremiah Love, Darian Price, and the rookie, the freshman Aeneas Williams in there as well, not to mention Keldon Young. I don't think he's on campus yet, but he's another running back. So you've got 4 deep guys that probably would start on most D1. Well, I would say 75% of D1 teams that start on. See Vegas, Patrick McCormick, one of our other admins, love you, Pat, just commented Vegas has Indy favored odds to make playoffs at -165. That's pretty good. So Vegas is usually undefeated. It's
the Raiders.
Unless where'd that come from? Who are your all guys' pro teams? We're Charger fans here. So what do you guys think? Who are your pro teams? I'm excited to see. There's always a lot of banter that goes on when the season starts. we're Charger fans, but more importantly, we're Notre Dame fans. So typically I go with if like the Chargers are playing somebody that has a Notre Dame player, then I hope that they do well, but we still win. So it's kind of one of those deals. Let me put that on there too. So record-wise, I'm in the neighborhood of 10 to 11. I think 11's the ceiling. I'm concerned about 3 games in particular. Texas A&M, I mean, first game, a lot of new players, a lot of new faces, in a very, very hostile environment, the 12th man, all that junk. That's going to be interesting. I have some concerns about Florida State. I think they did pretty well in the portal. So we'll get that. SC, obviously, it's on the road. People are sleeping on SC a little bit. They're going to be better than people think. They think just because they lost Caleb Williams, they're going to suck. Well, Caleb Williams wasn't whatever. Caleb Williams sucks. But yeah, so I'm thinking Jeff Strebberger just said I got 10 conservatively. I think a conservative 10 is appropriate, but I still think we'll be at 11. I could see us slipping up against one of the ones that I mentioned, or even maybe like a random Louisville or a Purdue road game, something that we just don't expect. But I do hope that Coach Freeman, Coach Denbrock, Coach Golden have everybody locked into where we'll start avoiding some of those. Where are you at with all that?
I mean, I've been thinking about it, and I think I had more last year than I did this year for obvious reasons.
Right.
I think the schedule was a lot harder last year.
Oh, yeah.
But this year, I mean, I think USC, by the time that we get to them, is going to be beaten down in the new division that they're in. But people aren't talking about it enough, but Georgia Tech is going to be really good this year. And they're honestly like my Louisville from last year.
Oh,
I didn't think we were going to lose to them, but I mean, I don't know. That's probably the only trap game I think. I think we handle business against Florida State. I say there should be no reason that we lose under 10 games, and that's including if injuries happen. Yeah. So I would say my low bar is 10, and my high is 12-0, and however many games it takes to win a natty.
Yeah, Nate just sent me the schedule today. I'm going to pull it up here real quick on the college football playoffs this year, which is actually very intriguing to me because can you guys imagine a home playoff game at Notre Dame in December? Dude,
in the evening,
take my money. Take literally every penny I have. I'd sell Nate. Like, I would literally sell Nate to get there. Jeff agrees with you, Nate. That is my worrisome game, especially where it's out on the schedule. Okay. I'm not seeing the Georgia Tech fear, but you never know. I don't know what those chili peppers are, Pat, but sounds good. Let's see. Playoff first round, Friday, December 20th, Saturday, December 21st. So yeah, you would have an evening road, possibly an evening home game at Notre Dame in the freezing cold. It would be amazing. David Manning says I would sell Nate too.
Come on, Coach.
If it took getting me to that game, I would do just about anything. So somehow we got to get down there for that. If you guys are still watching, what games are you guys all going to? Nate and I plan on being at the Stanford game in South Bend. We're going to make the trip out to New York. First time I've ever been there, and I cannot wait. But we're going out to New York for the Shamrock Series, and then we'll be at the Notre Dame SC game out at the dump in the Coliseum, and just yuck. So if you guys are going to those, link up. Let's do it. Stanford with the boys. That's right, Patrick. We're going to have a huge crowd at that one. We hope to have a huge tailgate. Looking forward to Dan, the tailgate man's usual tailgates every week at the home games. What else was I going to say about that? I can't remember. We're likely going to be working with Legion of the Leprechaun on a joint kind of pre-game rally, so to speak, for the New York Shamrock Series game. So shout out to those dudes. And we'll be doing something together. Not sure exactly what yet. We're kind of looking at venues to see what might work. It's New York City, so I don't have a clue where to even begin to look. But we'll find something and we'll have a good time with it. Jeff says he'll be at all the home games. That's awesome, dude. Well, I mean, not all of us have, a family member playing linebacker, so whatever. But no, that's awesome, Jeff. We love you too. And Drake. I think that's going to do it, guys. Again, big shout out to Cree Thomas for jumping on with us. We're going to do our best to get out to maybe one or two of his games and bring you some footage from his games, some highlight reels, stuff like that. Try to get a quick interview. So more to come on Cree Thomas. This is episode 2 of season 10. We're looking at coming out for monthly episodes starting when the countdown gets to 50. So in the meantime, as we get interviews that pop up, we'll take care of those. But we'll be coming back to you guys weekly every Sunday. once we get a little bit closer to the season at 50. So we also have a really cool surprise that I don't think I'm allowed to announce yet, but it'll be related to a player that's in the 40s. I'll just leave it at that. Not Mark Edwards, nobody like that, but it's somebody that's from the days of lore, somebody from back in the day that we've been fortunate enough to have a good relationship with, somebody that is related to them, and we're super excited to possibly have them on to celebrate their day on the countdown. So again, in the meantime, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned in to our countdown on the Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. Share them. We appreciate any love you show on the shares. Share this podcast. I think it'd be great for everybody to get to know Cree and what kind of person and player we're getting in Cree Thomas. So thank you guys. We love you all, and have a great night. God bless, and go Irish. Isn't this such a cool